Nonfiction November. Nonfiction November. Hey. Let me stop. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited. I look forward to Nonfiction November so much. So very much. I used to kind of avoid nonfiction a little bit, and for the past few years, like, I've actually grown to love it so much. And I have some exciting reads planned for this month. I cannot wait to tell you guys what is on my TBR. First up, a book that, oh my goodness, I have been wanting to read since it was released. I've been holding on to it specifically for this month, and I am so excited to start it. I'm so excited to start it. Get it together, B. The Radium Girls, The Dark Story of America's Shining Women by Kate Moore. And if you guys haven't heard about this one, let me just give you a little background. The newly discovered element of radium makes gleaming headlines across the nation as the fresh face of beauty and wonder drug of the medical community. From body lotion to tonic water, the popular new element shines bright in the otherwise dark years of the First World War. Meanwhile, hundreds of girls toil amidst the glowing dust of the radium doll factories. With such a coveted job, these shining girls are the luckiest alive until they begin to fall mysteriously ill. But the factories that once offered golden opportunities are now ignoring all claims of the gruesome side effects and the women's cries of corruption. As the fatal poison of the radium takes hold, the brave shining girls find themselves embroiled in one of the biggest scandals of America's early 20th century, and in a groundbreaking battle for workers' rights that will echo for centuries to come. You guys, I am not even 20% in, and it's so good. I'm listening to the audiobook, enjoying it very much. So basically, back in the day, these women, if they were lucky enough to get the job, they worked in the factories using radium paint to paint the dials of watches for the soldiers overseas, so they'd be able to tell like what time it was in the dark, things like that. But then it spread to household watches and pocket watches, clocks, things like that. And basically, as they're painting with the radium paint, to not waste the product and to paint as accurately as possible, the girls are putting the brushes in their mouths to point the like hairs on the brush to make their work very sharp and to not waste product. So after each painting, they're pointing like the tip of the paint brushes with this radium stuff on it because everybody thought it was a wonder drug and wonderful for you. Little did they know. Oh my gosh. So as time goes on, girls fall ill, girls start dying, and no one's putting it together that it's actually the radium. And I'm just now getting to the point where they're starting to realize, and the company is not taking responsibility for it. And like I said, I'm not even 20% in, and it's already so interesting, so I can't wait to delve further into this and see how it turns out and what goes on. So sad, like absolutely heartbreaking, because we're talking about girls like they had to be 18 to work at the factory, but many of them lied about their age because the job paid so well for back in the day. It's just terrible story so far. So I can't wait to see how the tragedy of these women has led to triumphs for our workers' rights and contribute to how we do things nowadays. Next up, a book that I have wanted to read for years. So excited. It is The Black Count by Tom Rice. Oh my god. For so long. So excited. It's the story of General Alex Dumas. Sounds familiar? It is the great writer Alexander Dumas' father. So crazy that the Count of Monte Cristo and the Three Musketeers were based on his father. Like, friggin' insane. True story. Like, so cray. The real life protagonist, the Black Count, General Alex Dumas, is a man unknown today, yet with a story that is strikingly familiar because his son, the novelist Alexander Dumas, used it to create some of the best-loved heroes of literature. Yet hidden behind these swashbuckling adventures was an even more incredible secret. The real hero was the son of a black slave who rose higher in the white world than any man of his race would before our own time. Alexander Dumas was briefly sold into bondage but made his way to Paris, where he was schooled as a sword-fighting member of the French aristocracy. Enlisting as a private, he rose to command armies at the height of the Revolution, campaigning across Europe and the Middle East until he met an implacable enemy he could not defeat. The Black Count is simultaneously a riveting adventure story, a lushly textured evocation of 18th century France, and a window into the modern world's first multiracial society, but is also a heartbreaking story of the enduring bonds of love between a father and a son. And I'm so excited. So excited, you guys. Alexander Dumas is one of my favorite authors. So to hear and to know this history that I'd never heard of until like a few years ago, super excited to give this one a go. Cannot wait. Oh my goodness, you guys, I've wanted to read this one for a while, and the other day Audible had a daily deal and it was on sale for $2.95, so I snatched it up with a quickness, and that is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gonna learn something in my brains, people. Gonna learn something in my brains. Like, I love science, I love space, always have ever since I was little. So excited to actually hear his book in his own words. So it's the questions of space and time, how do we fit in the universe, how does the universe fit in us, and just the way he carries himself and explains things, it's so down to earth. So he's bringing it down to like everyday man level and explaining all of these questions. I'm so excited. From the Big Bang to black holes, from quarks to quantum mechanics, and from the search for planets to the search for life in the universe. Super happy fun time. And next up, another book that I'm super excited to dive into, and I'm hoping that I get my reading mojo back enough to make it to this one, is The Fire This Time by Jesmyn Ward. So happy to have won this from Brown Girl Reading this summer, and I've been saving it for Nonfiction November, so here we are. Excited to dive into this one. So basically she is using James Baldwin's essay written 50-something years ago. Book was so amazing, The Fire Next Time. You guys, if you haven't heard of it, if you haven't read it, look it up, read it, because there are some truths to be had in that book. Very powerful stuff. Here's a little quote that it uses from that book. You know and I know that the country is celebrating 100 years of freedom 100 years too soon. Jesmyn Ward knows Baldwin's words ring as true today as ever. She's turned to her generation's most original thinkers to write short essays, memoirs, and a few essential poems giving voice to their concerns. In the 50-odd years since Baldwin's essay was published, entire generations have dared everything and made significant progress. But the idea that we're living in the post-civil rights era, that we are a post-racial society, is a callous corruption of a truth that our nation must confront. Ooh, powerful realness in this one. Definitely looking forward to it. Also want to finish Artemis by Andy Weir. I received that arc. I want to actually read it before the book is released, so hopefully that will happen. If you guys don't know what it's about, I will put a link to the video where I described wanting to read it last month but didn't manage to read it last month up here, so you guys will know the synopsis of that one. And also, one of my BookTube buddies, you guys, released a book, Cal, over at Cal Lewis ATL. His book is maxed out. I am truly honored that he has given me a copy to read, let him know my thoughts. So I'm gonna try with everything that is in me, in all the reading mojo in the universe, to get to that as well this month. So that is it. That is my Nonfiction November TBR. If you guys are participating, let me know below so I can stop by if you made a TBR and check it out. Let me know which books you're super duper hyped about. Thanks so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed this, if any of the titles seemed interesting to you. And don't forget to subscribe so you guys can be updated. See how I do next month. If I manage to read, listen to more than 2 measly books. Or whatever else is going on, because I was super hyped about my fall playlist. I know the Christmas time is coming, so some things going on, people. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe so you guys will be notified and won't miss out on any of the videos that I have coming up. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.